Yes, so we finally have full details of Kingdom of Amalur's Re-Reckoning's long-awaited DLC expansion, Fatesworn. So we actually talked about this about 3 weeks ago, where we're like, oh, there's been no update about this. And then they put up a blog post. We talked about, they gave us a few details, but the whole thing was, oh, finally we have an update. And in that news segment, I mentioned, look, they said that development's pretty much wrapping up. So that means we may see this in a few weeks, or maybe, depending on if they've done QA or not. And it's coming out on the 14th of December. So, basically just less than, a week and a half or so. So that's really, really cool. So it's only, the DLC is only coming out for PC, PS4 and Xbox. There is a Switch version of Re-Reckoning. They haven't given a release date for that yet. But I believe the Switch version of the whole game itself came out later anyway, so maybe it just lines up with the pipeline of that. But it's I think it's about $20 US, the expansion, which is actually, to me, sounds a bit pricey when they say that the main campaign for the expansion's going to be about 6 hours long. I think that's a bit of a high price, but this is also a smaller developer. Now, they are owned by THQ Nordic, who are not small, but it's the kind of game where I'm okay to pay for that amount because it supports also a game that I really love and shows that, that there's,
demand for it, right?
Exactly, demand for potentially new stuff in the future.
As a businessman, I support you buying the product to support the demand.
It does seem like this is actually going to be the last thing that they do for this, because they say that it will conclude the game. So
I would say buy 2 DLCs, Winnie, and really show your support.
That
Maybe
is
we'll
impossible
give you more.
because I only have a single account.
Create
so I have to go break the terms of service and set up a second account just to do that. Yes, okay. I'll do that.
Worth it.
Just like Mike buying 2 DLCs
buy on your PS5.
What did I do with 2 DLCs?
Anyway, so this I was mentioning that you're going to buy for multiverses. You're going to buy the 2 DLCs.
Oh yeah, but that's fair.
Okay, just on that quickly. So sorry, we're totally breaking into this.
Yeah, we need to get back to the game.
Mike has got this thing where he's going to buy Lloyd Christmas or any Dumb and Dumber character, no matter what the price is. He's going to buy 2, one for him and one for our Uber fan Joe Jives, who's in the chat right now. Shout out to Joe Jives. We need to start covering multiverses because I want to see the time when they announce these kind of things and then jump on and get excited, get hyped. It's like the old Smash days, Sweetie. Because that's all I'm banking on. If they go, oh, it's like $30 Australian or something, I'm gonna love that.
We'll do that.
Beautiful. And, all right, get back into Kingdom of Amalur.
Yeah, about Amalur. So,
little business.
So they're actually introducing this new mechanic, or this thing that looks like it's kind of, going to be across the different gameplay systems, that's called Chaos, which is pretty funny because the whole Final Fantasy Origins Chaos. But basically it's connected to, there'll be new Chaos type weapons, new Chaos enemies and things like that. Now, it will obviously have everything you expect in expansion or a hefty DLC to have, like new side quests and everything like that. But it's got new music by Grant Kirkhope, which is awesome.
That's cool.
Because I don't know if they remastered or they definitely wouldn't have re-recorded any new music for Re-Reckoning, because I think that would just be ridiculous. I could be wrong about that. Watch out for the future correction on that one. But to have new music by Grant Kirkhope, who is very famous for Banjo-Kazooie and a lot of the classic Rare games on 64 era anyway, that's awesome. They're also increasing the level cap from 40 to 50. And that's actually really important for this game because its skill system is like, you run out, when you hit 40, you're kind of really disappointed because there's a whole bunch of cool skills that you just can't use. And you can't experiment as much. So I think it's really good that they're doing
so
that.
You can't complete, you can't then expand out to other skill trees or?
Well, no, you can't, most RPGs you can't, but you can definitely respec. But that actually ties into another thing, which is Twist of Fate cards. So they're introducing new Twist of Fate cards, and they're all based on, there's 3, I can't remember exactly what they are, but there's 3 core attributes. And depending on how you level all 3 of them up, it will then give you access to different perks and as in the form of Twist of Fate cards. So it's cool that doing all that stuff. You can really build some awesome characters with that. But yeah, it's great to finally have a release date and coming so soon. I'm pumped. I've been waiting for this since it came out last year. I love Kingdom of Amalur. It's one of the most underappreciated games of you know, that generation of 360 PS3
Mm.
era. And it's so great that it got a second life at the hands of THQ Nordic. So
It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy how that happened. Like that's just a bit of a one in a million, I think, that they sort of resurrected it a bit.
yeah, I mean, it's a game that, you know, obviously they did work to it, but it's also kind of feels like a bit of easy money to release a remaster. You know, like you just put a nice new coat of paint on it. There's a lot of people that replay. You get some new business out of it. But it's a game I love, so I'm really happy that it did. So
Yeah, no, I think it's really, really cool news. I'm yeah, really happy for you. Also,
Hmm.
I think there was like someone in the comments who was like super keen about it, and they were asking us, you know, when is it coming out? What's going on? I was like, shit, I don't know
Yeah.
any of this.
This game has its fans, man. Like,
Mm.
and it was, even when it came out, it was actually a very good game. But
It was, yeah.
as in, like, it was quite liked. It just obviously it had a lot of story behind it that overshadowed the game itself. So
Oh yeah, the whole context and everything like that.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I'm glad that it's coming out and so soon as well. Yeah, maybe we'll hear impressions next week. We'll see how we go. Or is it the week after? Anyway, my
Week
maths is
after.
probably week after. Sorry,
I
I'm just
can't
getting
travel in time.
I'm getting excited about that time period because that's when the analog pocket starts to ship that week. So it's just like I'm always like thinking ahead, and the reviews of it come out. I'm like super nervous about that. But anyway, all right, let's get on to our second and final news story for this big week in gaming.